I'm so happy to be joined today with Dr. Elena Seranova. Again, we've got a lot of fun things going on, and we do this a lot on this channel. So it's always fun to get to talk to you. But I have not yet gotten to teach you a little bit more about breath work. And
Absolutely.
yeah, and so here's the thing. So, you are a busy professional, and this is one of those things, people ask us all the time, and we've already answered the question, why would you want to live to 200 years old? This is crazy. And I think sometimes it's just, we're so stressed out. We kind of look at like, well, eventually I'll die and I won't be so stressed out. It's almost like we're looking forward to it. So finally I get a little rest, and we say rest in peace, right? But yeah. One of the things that I teach, and I teach all over the country, and even other times, sometimes I travel to other countries to teach this, is breath work. And I teach it in a way I call it the language of breath. And the way I look at it, so often we look at our bodies as this, like, it's like a fleshy robot, that is like, I will tell you what to do. And, and then, sometimes it doesn't do what we want it to do. And then we're like, well, it's defective. It's, it's this bad thing. So but in reality, our physiology is it's just as much us as our intellect. And so it's all us. And so when I teach breath work, I try to teach it as a language that we can use, and we have to learn how to listen to our bodies, and we have to learn how to speak to our bodies. So today, I'm going to teach you a little bit about how to listen, how to speak to your body, because you're a busy person. We get stressed out. And I know sometimes
I'm literally stressed out all the time. And what's happening is that I basically own a longevity company, but sometimes it feels like the company is taking away my longevity.
Yeah, well, it's so true, because you look at a person who is a top performer, right? Someone who really is dedicated and has a passion about what they do. And oftentimes you'll see, it's like, wow, at the end of the day, and of course, we talked about our supplementation stacks and things like that help us get through. But at the end of the day, still, it's like, wow, that's a lot of stress to go through. So,
absolutely.
So what we'll do today is I'll take you through some of the listening and some of the speaking of the language of breath. And for those of you guys who are watching, this is the sort of thing I cover in my language of breath course. And you can also learn some of these techniques in Dr. Elena Seranova in our course that is called the Foundations of Longevity and Lifespan. And that is available currently on both of our websites. So some of these things you can learn maybe more in depth on our course. But today we're going to cover some of the basics. So before we begin, the breathing part. Of course, I want you to continue breathing while we're doing this, right? But one of the things to understand is, and I think this is especially fun for me and you, because of course, I only speak English. That's it. And I've told you, my wife, she speaks Spanish, and I wish I would have studied that better in school. But you speak like 3 languages or something like that pretty fluently.
Yeah, I speak Russian and I speak Greek because I'm of Russian origin, but I grew up in Greece. I actually went to school to Greece, and I did my undergrad in Greece as well. I speak English because, I continued my studies in the UK, my master's degree and my PhD. And then I do speak a bit of German, although because I'm not practicing, I actually am forgetting my German. But, the other 3 languages are I'm pretty fluent in Russian, Greek, and English.
And that's incredible. The human brain is capable of so much. And so what's funny is, most of those languages came from, the Indo-European languages. So it's always funny to me that when I hear, like Hindi, for instance, how did that have the same origin as German or English? And it's amazing. Well, we found what's called the Rosetta Stone, and it allowed us to translate hieroglyphics. And actually, there was 3 languages on there, and so the Rosetta Stone was this very valuable thing because it allowed us to say, okay, we know what this story over here is saying, but I guess we can translate it now. And so one of the things that I would consider the Rosetta Stone for our physiology is our autonomic nervous system. And you're familiar with this, but for everybody that's watching, just a brief introduction to the autonomic nervous system is there's 2 major parts of the autonomic nervous system. Typically, there's technically 3, but the 2 most dominant parts is our fight or flight, is sometimes we call it. It's our sympathetic dominant system, and that's when we're incredibly active. It's also when we're super stressed, right?
Yeah.
What's funny is, a side note, is that when we are stressed, that autonomic nervous system goes to that sympathetic side and it enhances our senses. And our ancient ancestors, it was great because we can actually see a little bit sharper, we can hear a little bit better, our sense of smell is even a little bit better. And what happened was, back then, it was great because we were, hunters and gatherers, and it was really helpful. But nowadays it's, basically anxiety.
Yeah,
right?
We're not running away from predators anymore.
Right. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing, but it's also, it causes us to have a disconnection, like when we're trying to go to sleep in the middle of the night. And then of course we have the other side, which is the parasympathetic dominant side. So rest and digest, it's whenever our stress hormones are low, when we can recover, or our blood circulation can help us get better sleep and digest better and all these other things. And the one thing that is controlled by our autonomic nervous system that we also have control, there's a few things, but the one, of course, that I want to talk about now is breathing. And so one of the things that I like to tell people is that a very simple way to influence how you feel is to modulate your breathing. So if you think about how you breathe when you're stressed, and you think about how you breathe when you're relaxed, actually, because you can control those things, you can actually use your breathing to send a signal to the autonomic nervous system that either, hey, let's go fight or flight, or let's go rest and digest. But we have to sort of become aware. So I'm going to take you through a little guided meditation, because awareness is the foundation of all positive change, right? We can't make any good change unless we know where we are. And oftentimes when we get all stressed out and when we're thinking about, for instance, a business, or when we're thinking about our research and other things, we don't really think about what's going on here. So for everybody watching, and for Elena, I'm going to guide you through just a really simple meditation to help us kind of get into our body before we do some breath work. All right?
Awesome. Let's
go. Here we go. So go ahead and close your eyes and relax your forehead. Relax your eyebrows. Relax your shoulders. Really just relax the body. Relax our chest, our abdomen, our hips, our calves, our feet. Just start to become aware of how we feel. We've got all sorts of different ways that we can measure. We say, I am this tall, I am this many years old, my foot is this big, my waistline is this size. But whenever it comes to how do I feel, sometimes it takes a little bit more than measurement. You just have to become aware. And so what I want you to do now is go ahead and take your right hand and put it over your heart. See if you can feel your heartbeat within your hand. Just feel that pitter patter. Just consider that heartbeat. That's also me. It's not necessarily the conscious me. There's a part of me that's taking care of that heartbeat. Approximately 60,000 miles of circulation I don't have to consciously worry about because there's another part of me that is taking care of it for me. Just envision yourself, another version of yourself smiling back at you, saying, we got this, we're a team. You take the wheel, I'll be doing all this other stuff to keep us going, working as a team. Now we're going to take our right hand away from our chest and just hold it away wherever you like. I want you to take your awareness to your palm. Just really focus on the palm of your hand. Can you feel your heartbeat in your hand? It's there. Just have to become aware of it. All too often, we get caught up in the chaos of life. We forget to listen. Now we're going to go even deeper. We're going to take our attention to our thumb. Just our thumbprint, just that area where we have our thumbprint. Can you feel your heartbeat there? It's there too. Just have to learn how to listen. Now we're going to bring our attention, we're going to go down our arm, through our torso, down to our legs. You can put your hand down, bringing your attention to your left foot. Feel your heartbeat there. It's there too. Just have to become aware of it. Now we're going to take our attention to our left big toe. You just focus on that place only. Can you feel your heartbeat there? Now that heartbeat was there even before we put our attention there. What we're doing is simply learning the first lesson of breath work. That is awareness. We call this the sense of introspection, the sense of internal awareness, understanding that there's an enormous amount of information that we filter out throughout the day because we get focused on what's going on outside. There's a whole lot of information coming to us on the inside. Okay, now we're going to bring our awareness all the way up the leg, through the torso, up through your neck, up to your nose. Put our awareness in at our nostrils. Notice the coolness of the air as we inhale. Notice the warm, moist exhale. And we're going to bring our awareness to our face. We're going to wake our face up, opening up our eyes with a smile. And come back into the room. So what we did is we started to work on awareness.
Oh, wow.
So that is the first step of breath work. It's even before we start working on techniques, we want to become aware.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something that I think in all of health, sometimes we kind of ignore. We love the science, which I love the science, and I know you love the science, but it's also important to say, okay, let's really experience this. What's happening in our bodies? So this is the first step. Awareness is step number one. I'll tell you what we're going to do on our next video. Okay, so everybody that's watching next week, all right, we're going to talk about some techniques that we can use with the language of breath to maybe boost your energy or relax, and probably going to need to relax because we've got enough ways to get stressed out. Okay, so this is next week. Join Elena and I. We're going to talk about some ways that we can use our breath to interact with all that stuff going on inside. We'll see you guys next week. Hey everybody, this was a part of my ongoing conversations with Dr. Seranova. If you're interested in learning more, please take a look at the links below. And also remember, there is a discount code there if you'd like to order some of NMN from NMN Bio. That is her company. So hope you enjoyed this video. Look for more to come.